Welcome to Lemon Stream, where we feature stories of the unknown, mysteries, post-apocalyptic fiction, and other weird stuff. So settle in, get comfortable, get ready. Here we go. The New World, Chapter 8, Invasion. The front door opened and Sandy stepped in. He had a cat that ate the canary grin on his face as he held up the dosimeter. "Today's the day," he exclaimed. Exuberance rippled through the room. "Does that mean we can go outside and play?" asked Timmy. "Well," said Gramps, "it means we can all go outside and move around a little for a few minutes, but, Timmy, there are going to be some rules." "Yay!" cried Sydney, jumping up and down. "Listen, kids," Gramps said. "Stay with your parents all the time and listen to them. Don't go to any low places or ditches or any place like that. That's where all the bad stuff will collect." Okay, said Timmy. "I just want to go out." "I think all of us are ready for that, buddy," said Gramps, "so let's go." One by one, they left the house, pushing aside with one hand the plastic sheeting gasket that hung in front of the door and shielding their eyes with the other hand. It was a bright day, but somewhat hazy. The sky was a dull white color rather than blue. "Oh, it's beautiful," Denise said. The air is so beautiful." They looked around them. About a third of the trees were dead. There were patches of bushes and grass that were brown and dead-looking. It was all very, very quiet. "Ew," said Stevie. "What's that smell?" The others tested the air with their noses. "Smells like something dead," said Darren. "Just when the breeze picks up a little. That's the only time I smell it." "The Kinney farm," Michael cut in. "The breeze is coming from the north. The Kinney farm is about a quarter-mile up the road. At the bottom of the hill, you could almost see it, but those trees are in the way." "Something's dead up there," Sandy said. "They have like a couple dozen cows," said Michael. "I bet they don't anymore," Stevie said. "We'll check it out in a couple days," said Gramps. "When we're sure the levels are going down fast enough and we can go outside longer, some of you guys can go up there and check on them." "What's that?" Jolene asked. A low, throbbing sound broke the dead silence of the outdoors. "It's getting louder," Sylvia stated. Darren cocked his head. It's a helicopter," he said. "It's coming from the east, the other side of Lost Man's Ridge." Just moments later, a helicopter emerged over the wooded ridge. I knew it! Shayla shrieked. "They're fixing everything, and it's going back to normal. I can't wait to post all of this online, and good riddance to you lame people." "What the?" Darren said, squinting toward the east. "What is... how?" It's got red markings on the tail. It's like a star with a line through..." "Whoa!" He put his hands down, stepped back. "It's Chinese." The helicopter changed its southwesterly course and began heading straight toward them. "What do we do?" Jolene exclaimed. "Get the kids inside," said Gramps. "Get them into the basement." The ladies heard it and carried the kids quietly into the house. Just as the door closed, the helicopter flew low right over the house. It swiftly banked and circled back over the house again, and then turned to the north. After a short distance, it began lowering itself below the trees, about 2,000 feet up the road. The stressed engine sounds indicated it was landing. "The guns!" shouted Darren, and he moved toward the door as fast as his bad leg would allow. The other men bolted for the house. The sound of the engine was winding down now, finally slowing to silence. A few moments later, the men emerged from the house. Darren and Sandy carried AR-15s. Michael had a 12-gauge. Stevie had a .308 with a nice scope. "It landed up there," Gramps told them. "The farm," Michael said. "It must be at the farm." "Should we get inside the house and stand by the windows?" asked Stevie. "Or hide in the woods behind the trees?" "Why don't two of you go back to the house and stay with the families?" said Gramps. "The other two can go up the road and maybe see what's going on. I'll stay here in the yard just to be the eyes here." Darren and Michael began walking up the road. Sandy and Stevie headed into the house. As Darren and Michael neared the farm, they moved off the road to the tree line about 20 feet away. It ran right along an old stone wall. They crouched and moved as quietly as they could to the last stand of trees. Finally, they knelt on the ground and carefully pulled back a couple branches, peering across the large lawn at the farmhouse. Behind the farmhouse was a large brown barn. Sitting on the front lawn was a largish helicopter. On its tail was the red star and line Darren had spotted earlier. Inside the copter was a pilot. Standing on the lawn in front of it were 3 men, all dressed in drab green camo. 2 helmeted men held AK-47s at ready. The third had a cap on his head and no rifle. He held binoculars to his eyes, looking directly at Michael and Darren. The man with the cap put the binoculars to his side and motioned Michael and Darren to come toward him. "Come, come!" he shouted. The men looked at each other. "Let's do it," said Darren. "Let's see what they want. Seems they would already be shooting if they were hostile." Michael agreed, and the 2 stood up, still clutching their weapons to them, and began slowly walking towards the helicopter. They stopped about 50 feet away. "No, no," said the man in the cap. "No guns. No be afraid." He hesitated, then turned and said something in Chinese to the other 2 men. They quickly slung their rifles over their shoulders in obedience. "See, no trick," the man said. "Just talk, no fight." He extended his free hand towards them. Darren and Michael lowered their weapons and began walking toward the helicopter again. They stopped about 10 feet away. "Very good," said the man. "Very good. See, no trick. Sorry my English not good. Sorry we not come in better time. Better, circumstance." "My name is Darren," Darren said. "This is my brother-in-law, Michael. We live nearby." "Yes, very good, very good. I see you from the air when we fly over. I am Feng. I am from People's Republic of China. Wish we meet in better times, but not today. Bad things happen, and bad things going to happen. I see you from air and want to stop because we not see many people. Most people dead. We see very, very few, but we see you, and I see children. Sad time, though. You lived through all this war, but maybe not longer. America all blown up and burned down. Russia, Europe, all blown up. Middle East, all on fire. China, all blown up. All cities gone. Most leaders gone. Bad men do bad things and destroy the world. We have few resources left. Little petrol, little armies, but we use last of it to hunt down bad people and destroy them for what they did. Bad people think they rule the world. They think people of the world, they're cattle on their plantation for them to milk, for them to harvest. Now they hiding like frightened dogs. Many bad people go underground. We hunt out their bunkers and underground towns and destroy them. We use last of our resources to find and destroy them. This bad for you today. You not bad, Chinese not bad, Russians not bad, English not bad, French not bad, but some people bad, and they think they better than all of us, that they own us, that we are that we their slaves. Some of them hiding underground near here, on other side of town over a river, secret underground retreat between 2 mountains. We destroy it tonight. We drop very big atomic bomb on it tonight. Blow it up. You too close. We sorry, I sorry, but bad people must die. We have nowhere else to go, said Michael. I know, said the Chinese man, I know. Sad times, bad times. Get underground if you can, far as you can, deep as you can. Maybe you survive. Well, thank you for letting us know, said Darren. We will do what we can to save our families. My family, gone, said Feng. My wife, my little boy, gone when Beijing attacked. American missiles hit, everything gone. That why we, me and these men, we give our lives and use every last resource to hunt down bad people who did this and destroy them. We not stop until they dead or we dead. Fang stood quiet for a moment and then added, "You have children with you." "Yes," said Darren. "5 of them." "Oh, so sorry," Fang said, shaking his head. "Bad times." "Here." Fang turned and said something in Chinese to the 2 riflemen. The men walked to the helicopter and drew out 3 wooden crates. They brought the crates to Darren and Michael and stacked them on the ground. "You have this," said Fang. "Our gift to you. These are extra. We have plenty for now, but you need. Sorry for bad times. We probably never meet again, but today, we friends. You, me, we. Friends. We must go meet our people. You must go to your families, your children. Hug them, hold them. More bad times come tonight. Sad days." Fang gave more orders to the other 2 soldiers, and they climbed back into the helicopter. Fang climbed into the front and buckled into the seat next to the pilot. He turned one last time to Michael and Darren and waved. Then he leaned over to the pilot and gave some instructions. The pilot jumped to action and fired up the motor. Michael picked up 2 of the crates, and Darren grabbed one. They carried them back to the tree line and turned to watch the helicopter lift slowly off the ground. It rose to about 200 feet, then banked and headed south. Once it was off, they turned and carried the crates up the hill toward home without saying a word to each other. Gramps was still waiting in the yard. "What's this?" he asked. "It's a story," said Darren. "Let's go inside and talk about it." Inside, Michael set his 2 crates on the dining room table. He went in his bedroom, came out with a nail puller, which he used to pop off the top of one of the crates. The crate was packed with cans. The labels had only Chinese characters on them, so the contents of the cans were a mystery, but they assumed it was food. Michael pushed the crate aside and opened the second one. It was full of medical supplies, bandages, tape, something that looked like clotting powder, assorted bottles of pills. Most of the pill bottles had English labels as well as Chinese characters. "Hey, Sylvia," said Sandy. "Come here and take a look at this. See if you can figure out what it all is. All kinds of pills. Just wait there. I'll bring it to you." Sandy grabbed the open crate and carried it down the stairs to the basement. Darren placed the one he was carrying onto the table, and Michael popped the cover off of it. "Oh," Michael said. "That's what I'm talking about." He reached into the crate and lifted out a large glass bottle with a yellowish liquid inside. "I don't know what it is," said Michael, "but I know what it is. This is happy juice." I think you're right," said Darren. "There's a dozen bottles in here. All the labels are in Chinese, but I bet it's alcoholic." Michael unscrewed the cap from the bottle he was holding and waved the mouth under his nose. "Oh, yes. Thank you." He tipped up the bottle and took a little drink off the top. "Gosh," he exclaimed. "Oh, that's nasty. Oh, but so good. This is the stuff." He handed the bottle to Darren, who took a small sip for himself. "Yep, that's what it is," Darren said. It's like whiskey, but not. Man, it's strong." "If we're still alive tomorrow, we're going to celebrate," Michael said, tapping the bottle. "Maybe, or we can add these to the medical supplies. Let's get these crates downstairs," said Darren. "We need to get things secure and ready before dark."